We've grown up, we've Denny. We're back with a brand new video, and before I get started, once again, I'm in the mobile studio, aka my car, so please attribute any variances in audio quality to that. So, with that being said, let's dive into the topic of today's video, which I came across this clip from, oh Lord, I used to watch the show all the time, and now, pardon the interruption. And so Wilbon and Kornheiser are talking about some recent comments by Brendan Haywood, those of you longtime NBA center, current analyst. You see him on NBA TV lots of times and things of that nature. I don't know if he still has that podcast. I think it was Channing Frye. It was actually pretty entertaining. I don't know if they still do it. I forgot what it was called, but it was pretty good. But at any rate, was talking about the problems with the All-Star game, which we're coming off of All-Star Week games that started back this week. But different things have come out in terms of the ratings, in overall, people are giving their reaction to how they thought the whole shindig went down. Well, Brendan Haywood talks about what he thinks is wrong with the game, and not only that, but he goes a little further where a lot of people, well, I won't say a lot of people don't, but he goes into where he thinks the game started to lose its way. So without further ado, I'm going to let you hear Brendan Haywood, and then I'll be back with my reaction to what he had to say.
Longtime NBA center Brendan Haywood has a theory as to why the event has been struggling. Quote, the face of the league sets the temperature. Michael Jordan set the standard because the standard was set before him with guys like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. You know when the quality of the All-Star game really started going down? When Kobe Bryant retired. He held up the standard. No one's running with it right now. Everybody's running from it, and that is the problem, close quote.
What a shot this is at LeBron James. When you say the face of the league, LeBron James has been the leading face of the league for 15 years at least.
Steph Curry?
No, LeBron James.
Kevin Durant?
No, they're there. LeBron James. This is a complete shot at him, and he didn't play in the All-Star game a couple of days ago, and he was a late scratch. Boy, it's a shot at LeBron.
Every syllable that came out of Brendan Haywood's mouth is right on the money. I don't care who the face is. This is true. The All-Star game stinks.
Yeah, it's no good.
It embarrassed the commissioner of the game last year, but he does not have the power, the leverage to get the players to play hard. And those players want the viewers and the patrons and the networks to care more about what they do than they care. That's garbage. And it moved to garbage.
Yeah.
First of all, let's just say Brendan Haywood is absolutely correct with what he had to say about the All-Star game. It does start, we talk about this, and it has been brought up so many times that the best players, you see it on individual teams, they set the tone. If your best player doesn't work hard, if he doesn't take things seriously, it's going to trickle down to the rest of the team. Good habits or bad habits, whatever your best player exudes, is going to positively or deleteriously impact your team. And the same can be said league-wide. So though he's not the best player in the league anymore, he's still seen as the preeminent guy in the league. And so a lot of ways people will follow kind of what he lays down. So if he is not going to compete, if he's not taking the game seriously, then unfortunately the other players will follow suit. And what Haywood was saying was that wasn't like that with previous generations. You can go back and watch some of the older All-Star games. Those dudes was out there, and they were getting after it. Were they playing complete defense like it's game 7 of the finals? Of course not. But at a certain level, you want to get out there and compete. You don't just want to let guys have a 94-foot layup line. And in a lot of those games, that's what they were doing. They were competing. You saw guys getting their shot blocked. You saw guys getting fouled. You saw things that were indicative of people going out there and giving effort and showing competitive nature, if you will. And the past few years, it's been bad. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, that's going to come down to the top. And if your top guy doesn't want to compete, as Charles Barkley said years ago, and then LeBron got all in his feelings about it and started talking about personal stuff that had nothing to do with what Barkley said. If he doesn't want to compete, nobody else is going to want to compete. Now, you could say, well, dang, that, the players, they don't have it on themselves to do it. And I get what you're saying, but if you're in team sports, you know how it goes. So, that's why you get the product in the current state that it's in, and where you have 200 points, and even goofball Adam Silver couldn't hide his disdain for what we saw last year. Remember Michael Malone, coach of the Nuggets, said that was the worst basketball game he's ever been a part of. And I tell the story, my son was 9 at the time. He watched about 3 minutes of that game. He was like, man, this sucks. And he left. So, obviously, the game is something that people don't take seriously. And I keep going back to the quote, but it was just like former President Barack Obama said, if they don't take the game seriously as players, why should we take the game seriously as fans? And the standard that was laid down by the Magics, the Birds, the Dr. J's, the Moses Malones, the Alex Englishes of the world in terms of competing, that has been, that was passed on to MJ and Patch Ewing and David Robinson and Shaq and all those guys, to Kobe and Duncan and KG, to now you don't see that. And it's suffering, and it's being shown in terms of the interest of the league and not only the All-Star game, but the league itself. And Kornheiser, what he said, it was a shot at LeBron James, it was right. And Wilbon agreed. And that's what it is. And until they, talk about paying the guys more, which is ridiculous. You're making an exorbitant amount of money and you have to be paid more it's, and you wonder why the NBA is losing money. And people say, oh, you just need to get the players to play hard, find players that are gonna play hard. That standard has to be instilled in those guys early on when they first come into the league. That this is how we do things. But if they see they can get away and take shortcuts and not only thrive but be rewarded for it, then why would they do it any other way? But yeah, I like I said, when I just came across this, I was like, yeah, I got to talk about this for a few minutes. And what do you think of the comments of Mr. Haywood? Do you agree with him? Let us know in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. And as always, thank you for spending a few moments with me. And as always, tell the ones that you love them. Peace.